Hey, hi, how are ya? It is the Side Quest live with a wonderful conglomerate of gaming individuals coming at you on a beautiful Monday evening. I'm looking up at the ceiling for no reason, um, talking to you about video games on a weekly basis. It's going to be a fun show today. We've had breaking news on a Monday, which is great. This is why we don't record on a Sunday. We recorded it on Monday this week. I am
Planned, of
Dolly.
course. We had the leaks. We knew.
Yes.
Yeah. Sources told this reporter.
Yes, sources told my source.
We knew it.
I'm Dolly Domofsky, the person above me, right up there. Hi, JJ.
Hey.
And then this dude over here, Taylor.
That's me. Hello.
The kitten baguette himself, Sam.
Sup, nerds?
And then maybe eventually freaking Zach will join us because it was his idea to push it to Monday. So Zach. We love you, Zach. It's all good. But hey, how you guys doing?
Tired?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worn out.
I was I went on a vacation for a week and I'm more exhausted than I have been.
Oh no.
Well, you know what happens when you go on vacation for a week is that your daughter doesn't go to daycare for a week.
Oh no.
And I'm just sleepy.
You need the vacation from the vacation.
Yep, inevitably.
Yes. Well, that's why you take a couple of days off after you get back. I've learned that now to take at least one day off at the beginning of the week when I get back from vacation.
Yeah. Should have done that.
Yeah. You'll know for the next time. Well, the most important news of the week, which I'm going to share right now, and I'm telling you guys, this is late breaking.
Okay.
It seems like NASA is a huge fan of Final Fantasy IV. This is live video. This is the actual video feed from the Dart crashing into that moon over there. Look at that. In fact, this may be higher resolution of the of Dart crashing into the moon. Did you guys watch it? That's some cool shit. Actually.
Yes. Of course I watched
it. It's funny
because
I saw those images that came through and I'm like, holy shit, that looks like the moon mission in Final Fantasy, like flying mode 7 effect to the moon.
They found the Lance of Longinus up there. Now things are going to get real crazy.
No. Oh no.
Well, let's get rocking. We're gonna dive into some news right away. The big news I'm gonna start with. It's my turn. That gives you guys time to figure out some news while we're, which sounds about right. But it's some awesome news here. Let me share, and that is Dolly being very slow at being prepared, which you guys already know that. No, E3 2023 dates have been announced. Look at E3 2023. The beautiful. I'm gonna put us down over here. This is nice. Bam. No, I'll put us back. E3 2023 dates have been announced. Taking place. By the way, finally splits industry and public days. We'll talk about that in a sec. But it's going to be essentially June 13th through the 16th, 12th, 13th, 13th, 14th, 15th are industry days, like halfway through the 15th, and then the second half of the 15th and the 16th are public days. And then they're also saying they're going to have like partner. They're going to uplift and share partner presentations, both digital, maybe in person, starting on the 11th, which is, as we all know, that's typically the Microsoft presentation day. Is that Sunday? The 11th is that Sunday. So there we go. E3 formally announced. Rest in peace, Summer Game Fest. I mean, that's really what we're trying to say here.
I mean, what's interesting is going to be what comes next, right? What is going to happen to Summer's Game Fest and other kind of things that tried to pop up in the void. Yeah. And also whether or not this is going to work, right? Because, E3 disappeared for a few years and we don't know. The death knells kind of were surrounding E3 for a while, so it's not a done deal that this now just goes back to working. There's still plenty of cachet that'll keep it going, but it's not shoe in. But the one thing that they, in my opinion, that they definitely did right is doing it now, announcing it 10 months or however far in advance from the show next year, because that was the one thing that the ESA was definitely not doing before, was getting ahead of letting people know whether or not the fuck was going to happen.
Right.
You look at the last 2 years. Look at the last 2 years. It was like mid-June. It's like, we can't do it this year. Obviously, I'm being a little mild exaggeration, but that's certainly what it felt like to me.
I think the one thing, I think we talked about it when they announced that Reed Pop was taking over E3, is that they know how to advertise a convention, and they are going to make it seem like this is the biggest deal in the world, that E3 is back under their umbrella. they're gonna hammer home that E3 is back, baby, until we're sick of hearing about E3.
No, JJ, it's not E3 that's back. E3 it's back, baby.
E3, an event from Reed Pop. No, I'm excited. I've missed E3. I've missed in-person events. We just had I mentioned it, I think I talked about it last week or the week before. We had the Detroit Auto Show here, which used to be a massive event. Like, we'd have over 1 million people go for the 2 weeks of this auto show here. They're going to be lucky to break 300,000, because it just and I'm saying it because there just weren't a lot of partners there, and people aren't going to go, and it's like just an awkward time of year. But gamers are a different lot, and I thought it was going to be the case. The game industry seems to be supporting stuff like PAX West. That's been the most recent big show that the person all the way at the top of the aisle, the top of the column there, JJ went to. Yeah. But tickets were still available for Saturday, which is wild. It did not sell out. PAX East, I believe, Saturday sold out.
I think Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday was sold out.
Yeah.
I thought 2 days. It was only one day that sold out?
It might have been Friday and Saturday, but it was definitely Saturday.
I think Friday and Saturday both sold out, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, the very least they did, which, kind of was like, oh shit, it's back kind of thing.
Yep. I'm excited. I mean, and then splitting it into industry and
I forgot the other bit of it. Splitting it like this needed, had to happen. I think it's the only way this is the one thing that I think can really help it actually come back, is doing this split.
If you're an industry attendant, are you allowed to attend the consumer side of it also?
Absolutely. Almost guaranteed.
Both, I guess.
There is no way. I don't think there's enough time to cover it on just the industry days. And B, you want the industry there, all three, because you want the industry to also see crowds, because that also tempers the expectations from an industry perspective. So I would put it at like a sub 1% chance that industry is not there for all days as regular attendance.
So just from E3's past, they ended up, they usually shut down on Thursdays because there was always an event the following week. So they had to tear down. I think it may have been like a porn event or something that was always going on. It's like what happens with CES. So there's an adult convention. And I think the anime convention is usually like the week before. So they usually have to tear down the convention center and tear down everything that Thursday night. Like you would actually see, while you were there, you would see them ripping shit down at like 5 o'clock. The bell toll.
Yeah, the bell rings, and it's like break it all down.
Yeah, and so you couldn't do it longer than that. You couldn't have an event an extra day. So I think enough has changed over the last few years. I'll give you two reasons. They're probably a little more flexible with their timing right now because of whatever's happening on the event after that. But splitting the days, I think one of the interesting caveats is that or one of the interesting notes is that there's actually 2 separate halls. So anyone who's been to E3 know there's like a North Hall and a South Hall, and then there's like Kensha Hall. So my guess is that one of the halls will be the main hall that has, your Nintendos, your Microsofts, your Activisions, your Capcoms, whatever. It actually has like hands-on stuff that we've typically known from E3, meetings, things like that, because there actually are meeting rooms there too. The other hall will be the public hall, which because that doesn't have to open earlier, and it there may be a different. I mean, there's gonna be a different type of setup. They can start tearing down the media hall earlier and leave the public one up in case. So if there's an event going on the next week or following weekend or something, they have access to that big large hall already for this other event. So that's, I think, an active bonus why they were able to stretch it that extra day, because you have multiple halls there and you can actually put them to use. I think that's actually another smart thing to do too, because as media, I don't care that Sony had like half of New York built at their booth when they were showing off Spider-Man one year. And they had like an actual,
they got a lot of use out of that because it was the same thing at PAX that year too.
Exactly. And so we don't really care. We just want to go there and put me in front of a screen and let me play and let me talk to someone. I don't care about the actual. I don't want to wait in line for a fake newspaper or an autograph. I just want to see the game. And I think that's a good understanding. They can put that stuff in the public hall. And so I think there's some real big benefits. But yeah, anyways, E3 2023 splitting from industry to public. I think that's a very good choice. And we'll see more out of that. There was something else that will be
your classic Monday drop of big media enterprise. I don't know. This is a weird one. I thought.
Happy. Apparently today is Last of Us Day.
Yeah.
And so,
Zach in particular wanted us to share this news story.
Yeah, I'm really sad he's not here, actually, just to remind him.
Totally called it. I'm only going to play this a little bit because they're going to ban us.
They are going to strike us. We're going to be removed immediately.
So I'm just going to play it for like 5 seconds. It's like, hey, check it out. There is the trailer for Last of Us. Okay, that's it. That's all you get to see. Yeah, okay. They dropped the Last of Us trailer finally today, which there are moments in this that are essentially shot for shot, I felt, from the game.
Yeah. They're clear. Yeah, it's.
I mean, here's the thing. It's not like you're telling a different story. It was the game was about the story it told and kind of somewhat good third person third person shooter, right?
Yeah.
So let's be honest, if you just really do the story portion well, you probably have something on your hands. Yeah. So I wouldn't deviate too much if I was them.
It's gonna be really weird because in terms of video game adaptations, like nobody's really gone for like the shot for shot kind of thing yet. So here we go. Let's go.
You see it in graphic novels to movies, like 300 and Sin City. They did those shot for shot, and some stuff in Watchmen, but nothing as a game. I'm very curious to see how that. I mean, kudos to Naughty Dog because Last of Us was a pretty freaking phenomenal game, and so some of those, Neil Druckmann knows what he's doing when it comes to the direction side. But I'm gonna watch it. I'm totally gonna watch it. It's gonna be one of those games that, for anybody who hasn't played, for the last few people who haven't played Last of Us, it's gonna break you at the very beginning, especially if you're a parent, and then by the end, it manages to break you 3 more times in different ways. So
differently, yay!
Differently. And I think what's great about this is that I love the Zach meme that he goes, "It's 2012, and I've played The Last of Us. It's 2022 and I'm playing it's 2015 I'm playing The Last of Us. 2022 I'm playing The Last of Us. 2023 I'm in The Last
watching The Last of Us
Part 1. I'm just gonna say this, be ready for 2030 when they've remade The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh my god.
Yeah, can't wait to play it on PSVR 3.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Last of Us. Sam, you were the one that mentioned this. What are your thoughts on this, dude?
Oh, I'll be honest. I only mentioned it because I thought you were being serious about lacking things to talk about.
We are actually.
Okay, well then I
We
have
actually
something.
are.
I have
Yeah.
something next then. Yeah, I didn't enjoy the original The Last of Us. And all of the remakes I don't care. So it doesn't help with that situation. I appreciate that I will be able to watch that story without having horrible
Having to
aiming.
play
That's
it,
not my
yeah.
fault. Yeah, without having to experience it, without having to die repeatedly for no reason, or that awful sniper scene that takes too long, which I can't wait for them to draw out to 2 episodes long, because if they don't, then it's not accurate to the game if they're going shot for shot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I look forward to seeing it because I also have an HBO subscription, so as a customer, great.
I wonder if they're gonna just like, if this is successful, are they just going to straight adapt Last of Us Part 2 then? Like, is that
Of course.
Like,
totally.
Like that, because that one will be actually way weirder to see live action, because that game's way more in a lot of ways. So
Yeah, I should finish that game.
Which one, part 1 or part 2?
Part 2.
I should start it. I haven't started.
I guess I got to the part where it gets like way more open world, and then it just kind of like evaporated from my psyche. But it was also like my daughter was born, so like things happen.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very funny when it becomes like semi more open world, because it's all alive, because the second you start really going into it, you're like, oh no, there's literally only really one way to go still.
Yeah.
That game does the greatest like turn of phrase, basically. It's like, look at all these options you have, and look how open this is. And then as soon as you clear that area, it immediately railroads you for the rest of the game.
It's very. I laughed every time they found another way to make it so you couldn't go backwards. Like you always find your way falling off a cliff or into the water and past an unscalable wall or something. It's a locked
I could
door.
squeeze through here, but something tells me this door will lock shut if I get through.
Yeah, and it always does. It's always super funny. It made me laugh every time. They it's almost comical in 2. In 2, they don't even really.
It should be a shame if the floor gave way underneath us right
now.
I'll go to the next news story though, unless somebody else has things. So today, a mysterious YouTube channel appeared called Wild Hearts, with a video that it premieres September 28th at 10 a.m. Eastern. The description for the video currently is: prepare for an epic adventure set in a fantasy world inspired by feudal Japan. Developed by Omega Force, the Japanese studio behind Dynasty Warriors, in partnership with Electronic Arts. So, oh boy, those are a lot of loaded words put consecutively together. Oh man. Any thoughts on either Dynasty Warriors or the idea that Electronic Arts has its hands in something that may involve Dynasty Warriors?
I like a good Muso game once every 5 years, and I don't think EA is going to be the one to deliver my next Muso.
Is this the Joseph Fares mocap game? Because he usually works with EA, and he's been working on a new game. So.
Oh man.
Who knows? I mean, you got to think with that name attached that it's some sort of third-person action game.
It's the next great hunting game set in fantasy feudal Japan.
Oh man!
Hell
right.
Yeah!
So
forget about the angler.
I don't know. It's just like
The Wild Hearts logo looks like the Roman Reigns logo, and only Dally will understand.
The inclusion of an in quotes next great hunting game just immediately it just makes me suspect terrible things.
Yeah,
I don't know whose marketing team came up with that, Omega Force or EA. Because EA's a hunting game could mean as simply I watched them kill an animal.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we're saying like hunting, like monster hunting game. You know, are we making a Monhun clone? I don't know, man.
You know what? Like, no kidding. A fantasy or feudal or a classic. Give me like a Roman era fishing game where I have to use like a different type of fishing rod or like sticks or bamboo, whatever they used back in those days to like actually get some fishing. Then I'll play your freaking fishing game and enjoy it. Imagine trying to get that fish back to the home base there.
Well,
maybe it's
whatever.
Maybe it's like the first Dynasty Warriors, and it's actually just a fighting game or something. Like,
well, in 36 hours, we will roughly find out.
Nice.
And it seems like from the discussion that this will be a pretty quick turnaround from announcement to actual release.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
So. As long as the sort of internet sleuthing of financial reports are to be believed.
I think Jeff Grubb, our friend Jeff Grubb, did mention. You guys remember? Jeff Grubb, right? You've heard of Jeff Grubb?
Never met.
The Wire.
The Wire.
Yeah, we have The Wire. No, he did mention that EA had another first party game coming this year. So I'm gonna guess this is probably it, right?
Sure.
Can't wait. As long as I can do a sick kickflip on a dagger or something. Hell yeah.
On top of a horse to hunt a turkey. That would be
Japanese.
I tell you what, you know how you sell this game to me? This trailer opens up and it shows the Omega Force logo, and then it shows EA Sports big.
Yes.
And then I'm fucking
except it literally has the announcer go EA Sports
big.
And if it doesn't do that, then I have to close the trailer. I have to close my browser window and leave.
Or if I tell you what, I will also take EA Sports Hunt or something like that.
Yeah,
EA Sports, it's in the hunt.
Yeah. It's in the hunt. Love it. Love it.
Wild Hearts can't be tamed, and that's what the skateboarding / snowboarding feudal Japan.
Hell yeah, it's like Riders Republic, but you're also killing animals, can't we?
Yeah.
Yes. Now you're okay. Now we've brainstormed a pretty badass game. Feudal Japan snowboarding hunting game.
I'm just saying that logo the picture had a wolf link looking wolf on it, and that game did have snowboarding in it. So I mean, who knows?
Did it really? I don't even remember. It did.
Well, Twilight Princess had a whole big. You're snowboarding with a Yeti and all that shit.
No shit. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. Any other news?
I don't think it's Sean Layton at Tencent. I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to Tencent, I guess.
Yeah,
that's all I've got.
Yeah. I didn't watch last week's episode, so I don't know what you talked about last week. So.
Oh, we talked about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the right choice.
It's like 48 minutes straight.
Was it?
Yeah, it was wild.
Was it the Iron Man game? And then it was just like, JJ, let's get a fucking talk about this.
I haven't. Hold on. I'm sure we're going into what we've been playing next.
Yes.
But I would just like to say I haven't been on, so I need to do a temperature check on Disney Dreamlight Valley with JJ.
Yeah.
How has that been going? Tell me about your village. I've only seen it from afar so far, and all I can say is, man, is there a lot going on with that UI?
Yeah, there is.
And man, is it nondescript on what it wants you to do. Place this key into the door that opens the secret cave that is somewhere near the cave that you're in currently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It really does want you to just understand at all times what it's saying, even when you don't know what it's saying. But
and it's for children, right? For like kids. Is it just
about how nondescript any of these plots are? I just want to go around and walk up to Mickey Mouse and hand him a bag of seeds and have him like thank me for it and call it a day.
Thank you for these seeds,
but I still do love that game. It's just if this game was free to play right now, I could see it being a mess. Like if it launched free to play, I could just see the time locks going on this game. You could just feel it in your soul that things are going to get real bad next year for this game.
I think it's pretty early on in the experience. Except for I don't know how you complete the quest, but I do know that you really have to deal with Mickey's PTSD from his dead wife.
Yeah, Minnie's fucking dead, man.
That's messed up. And like literally, I watched as my partner did a quest where she gave something to Mickey, and Mickey was like on the beach, and he's like, "I come here because it makes me think of Minnie." I was like, "What happened to Minnie? Oh,
Yeah.
she's dead." And then her ghost walks by.
Her ghost walks around. You find like notes on the ground that sort of slightly hint that like Minnie ran away. Like maybe Mickey's actually just like lying about her being dead and she ran off. It's unclear.
And again, let's keep in mind that this is a game for children.
It's children's farming simulator.
Oh my lord!
What it is it's grease and wheels. It's the Disney wheel greaser for microtransaction seating. I mean, I'm gonna put it out there.
Oh yeah,
this is. I'm interested to see this ingenious move from Disney, which is to put out a game free to play to start, so that we can see how many people that we can get in on it. And then turn on my MTXs. Like, that's nutty.
Well, there's I don't like battle pass in it right now, right?
It's not free to play right now, unless you have Game Pass.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah,
it is. It is in order to play the early access version of this, you have to spend $30 to $80 depending on what version you want, and then you get like all different levels of their like in-game currency and items. And it has a battle pass that's in there already that didn't launch. Like I was in early because I got a review code, and the battle pass wasn't active, but now the battle pass is active, and so you're getting Pixar gear by doing quests.
Oh yeah. They're doing like mobile limited time events where it's like, oh, you got to get the fucking Pixar balloon balls.
Yeah.
And once you get 5,000 of those, then you can get an emote or something.
Yeah.
Wild.
And you can just see like
testing for attach rates and all that kind of shit.
I have no idea what this stuff's going to cost when they finally just take it out of early access and launch it as 1.0 as the free to play game with what those microtransactions are going to look like. But there's like a dozen different currencies in this thing, and it's just going to be brutal. It's going to be fucking brutal.
Wild. All right. Yeah, I'm taking the reins of hosting apparently today.
Yeah, doing a great job.
Nerd alert! Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, we got overlays now. Wow, things have changed.
Wow.
Where have you been, man?
You've changed.
The pro software's changed you. I guess I'll start next. I'll start next. Yep. It's been a while. I think I briefly touched on it the last time I was here. But I've been playing a game called Tinykin. Maybe some of you have heard of it. It sort of sounds like the namesake of the game series they're trying to invoke with it, which is Pikmin. I will say, after playing it, I disagree that it is much of a Pikmin-like. It basically is a third person, I guess, action game. Where everybody's drawn in cute little sort of flat plane drawings. But it's a game where you are gaining abilities by finding these little tinykin out into the wilderness there, and collecting certain colors that allow you to get certain abilities, which is very similar to Pikmin, but it's not like you're ordering around a small platoon of people behind you. They just kind of follow you. There's really no difference between them and them just sitting in an inventory where you don't see them. They're basically like an ammo type when it comes down to it. But yeah, you're seeing there, you do get a pretty sick soap bar that you ride around like a skateboard, and when you jump, it does satisfyingly do like a late kickflip, which is very nice. So it is you basically are going around this little world, which is a house, and basically meeting its inhabitants and completing activities and quests for them.
Are these visuals in the actual game? These are fucking gorgeous. Dude.
Yeah, it's a really cool visual style. It's basically like pixel art, but obviously like drawings that rotate with the camera and stuff like that. It's really cool. I would not go into it. This game was heavily talked about as being a Pikmin game. Like all of the coverage I saw always talked about it being like a Pikmin game. It is not a Pikmin game. Like, do not go into this thinking that you're.
It looks like, I mean, it looks just kind of like a puzzle platformer.
Yeah, it's basically like a Banjo-Kazooie or something like that, where you gain abilities using these Pikmin. Occasionally, they have to carry things for you, but it's not like you're like raising them and leading little Splatoons and carrying things back to bases and stuff like that. That's not what's happening here.
Yeah, I think you described it well in the beginning, which is them following you is more of it's more of an aesthetic thing than it is a functional thing.
Yes.
Like they are more akin to inventory items or weapon types that you equip as needed to solve the puzzles.
It's kind of like a boy and his blob in that sense, where it's just like a living creature is your inventory, is your like skill set. So it's
which is not to deride like the quality, like it works, like it's good, and it tricked a lot of people into thinking that it was a Pikmin but like in a good way.
Yeah, and it's a totally competent game. It stands alone on its own. I understand the sort of, giant franchise. Obviously, they just announced a new game. Might as well hop on the bandwagon, stuff like that. But it's a good game. It stands on its own. It runs on Steamdeck, and it's a short experience. You can pretty much finish it anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours. So,
nice.
Definitely worth checking out if you're looking into like a little small like platformer and little puzzle guy. Definitely highly recommend. Buy, don't rent.
Also on Game Pass, I believe.
I think it's either on Game Pass right now or about to come to Game Pass.
Nice.
Yes.
No, it is already out.
Okay.
I love this animation. This is really cool. Wow, how good that looks. Damn, dude, you sold me. You and Playland sold me. And you can read Playland's review on SideQuest.com in the next day or so here when I actually get time to edit shit. Cheers. Excellent. What else you got, Sam? Are you gonna talk about your secret game?
Oh man,
Or do you want to wait?
I was gonna say I almost think my secret game has to wait.
Till Zach is back.
Till Zach is here. Maybe after show I can give you guys a little hint.
Okay.
But I tell you what, we'll mix it up and we'll go with another non-secret game that I've been playing.
Okay.
Which is close to being the same age, I believe. And that's Borderlands 3.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah. Hey, you guys enjoyed like Borderlands 1 and 2, right? Like,
nope. I never played it.
Really.
No, you never played any of those. You guys?
No.
Oh, I played them. It doesn't.
Oh, you didn't enjoy the ha-has and the guns. Like there was the gun that talked, right? Like that was fun. Yeah.
The funniest.
It's back, baby. And this time they don't talk about butt stallions early on. They do make a lot of jokes that don't land whatsoever, and it's basically all around just awful. Anytime any character opens his or her mouths, their mouths, a robot's mouth talks about shitting in other people's mouths. It goes on and on in that series. But hey, the gunplay is still kind of cool. And on PS5, it runs at 120 FPS ish.
Oh, wow.
If you have that ability. And it looks pretty good doing it when the online service isn't crashing. Because for its Borderlands, so it it's been stronger than something like a Skyrim over the years, but it's close. Hey, it's still a confident 4-player game, and you're not gonna die haha laughing, but you might make fun of each other while you're playing it and have a good time. I basically don't recommend Borderlands 3. If you played 1 or 2, stick there. If your friends are playing the third one and they're like, hey, it's on sale for $6, go, well, maybe I'll think about it. And then they go, well, the collector's edition is on sale for like $15, so you get the DLC. And I go, let's not tempt fate here. We'll stick with the $6 one. It's all right. That's all I have to say about Borderlands 3.
All right.
Somebody save me.
That's good. Borderlands. Who wants to go next? I can go next real quick. I got something real quick. Two kind of quickish things. One, I got one of those new iPhones.
Hey.
So I got the purple one. See, it looks purple.
Wow.
Look at the size of these fucking cameras, man.
I got the 13 Pro, so I was blown away.
Yeah, and then the 14 Pro, these cameras stick like an inch and a half off the surface.
Yeah. I hate this. I hate this.
You got the 13 Pro or the 14 Pro?
13 Pro.
13 Pro. 14 Pro's cameras are even bigger,
I
which
know.
is just insane. But they're freaking amazing cameras. Here's a SideQuesting tech review. The iPhone 14 is the best phone out there. No, it's got phenomenal cameras. It's weird because it has the always on, so it's like the screen's always on.
I hate that.
You can turn it off. It's nice to just kind of look at it and see that it's got I can tell the time. It says 9:42. Cool.
Yeah,
you also have that thing on your wrist, which is pointed towards me, which can tell the time.
Yeah.
Look at that. My activity rings are closed.
They also switched the most recent Apple Watches to being always on too, which is very weird.
Yes. You can turn. I actually turned it off on my watch. Yeah.
I have an incredible problem where if there is a screen on, my eyes have to look at it. It's I could be in a crowded room talking to somebody, and there will be a miniature 1.5 inch CRT in the corner, and I'll have to look over at it.
Sam, you are a cat. And that's why you just you see something shiny and you look at it.
There was at PAX, there was a PC on display that was an Evangelion PC that had a little screen on the graphics card that was playing the Evangelion logo. I think if you saw in the Discord, Zach posted a photo where it had a shot of a naked man running on it instead.
Nice.
From Germa's stream, but that would drive me insane because I would just be sitting in my little office here just staring at that little screen playing. I just know I would. You would just know immediately that I got
right away. Anything on the corner of my eye is always there. Anyways, it's a zipping fast phone. Unfortunately, you can't really gauge games on mobile devices. Does it work? Yeah, that's it. I mean, they don't actually feel like they're any
because Apple doesn't
runs like the iPhone 11, which runs like every Android phone that I've come across.
Can it run Genshin Impact high 60? That's all that matters.
It can.
Apple doesn't care. Apple doesn't care. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. How do you create this weird silicon pipeline of these massively capable chips, and you don't care? I don't understand.
It's like they have
it's so bizarre
devices. This is more powerful than the PS5. Basically, no, it's not, but it's more expensive than the PS5. It's a super powerful device, and they don't really. I mean, granted, I don't like to play touch. Listen, this game.
Apple won't even. They won't even create a display driver that will work with Apple silicon on that they include in their laptops. They won't do it.
Let me just say this. My horrible experience for those who followed along. What a freaking I hate Best Buy. Everything. I used to work at Best Buy. Hate everything. They still get tons of my money because I pre-order there all the time for the extra bonus points. Bayonetta comes out this weekend. But
shit.
But I freaking hate them because they made me trade in my old phone before I could get this phone. Every other place will do the transfer of your phone, your number, your activation there in the store with a trade-in. Not Best Buy. You have to go to the cashier in the front, right next to where they're selling the licorice, and where the kid behind you is screaming about the version of Madden 21 that they don't have in store because it's 2022 and actually 2023 is out. Handed them my old phone, and they're like, "We're gonna wipe it now." And I said, "But what about my actual contacts and data?" They said, "Well, did you back it up?" I'm like, "No, that's not the point. You're supposed to do the transfer here." "No, that's not how it works, sir. We just take your phone, we wipe it, and then after we wipe it, then you get your new phone." Then the guy goes, "But don't worry, you have 2 weeks to take it back if anything's wrong." I'm like, all my data is gone at that point. There's everything is wrong.
I don't want to completely change the subject. So unless I mean, it's been 8 years since I worked for Best Buy, but returns were possible at any register.
Yes.
Returns and exchanges. There is theoretically no reason why this would have to take place at a checkout lane. It doesn't exist.
I went to because I pre-ordered in the Best Buy phone area. I'm like, hey, I want to get the new iPhone. I could trade. They're like, oh, here's the deal. You get $510 for your old phone. I'm like, cool, whatever. I'll take it. I show up to pick it up, and they say, I'm like, yeah. I go to the phone area. I'm like, yeah, I'm here to get my phone. Like, oh no, you take care of that over in the pre-order pickup area. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what do? They say they take care of everything over there. All right. I go over there. And the guy's like, no, we got to wipe it. I'm like, but the phone guy said, no, it's different if you pre-order a phone. I'm like, no, it's not, because I've pre-ordered phones from Best Buy in the past where the phone came in and they did the transfer. Actually, in the past, they let me take the phone home, do the transfer, and then bring the phone in, and then I get the credit towards T-Mobile. Not in this case. It was just a straight up stupid thing. Anyways, regardless, the biggest issue was that because I had to, luckily I backed up before I left the house. The game that I've probably put the most hours in has now reset to 2% from 98% to 2%. And I'm so upset. I'm very upset, but at the same time, kind of happy I get to play it again. I get to play it again.
I was going to say, so, you're freed now. You can release it from your life.
I do have one other quick thing, and that is, you guys heard of Rocky? You heard of this? Rocky? You heard of this? Rocky? You got the Rocky. You know the Rocky, the very famous video that I'm not going to play the music because we're going to get banned. I probably shouldn't be playing this video, or we're going to get banned in a second anyways. Here's Rocky running down. You hear the theme song. He's waving at everybody. He runs up the stairs. Everything's great. I'm playing this because your boy was on the winning team for the Splatfest, baby. Team Gear. Team Grub goes down. Team Gear wins. Look at these numbers.
Team Grub got 0.
0 points. 0 freaking points. And I will say it was actually pretty fun. I do like the tricolor Splatfest idea.
Yeah.
It's because I don't like to, in the past, if there aren't enough people available on one color, you're playing against the teams on your own. You're playing against people on your own color. So it's like half the time you'd end up playing the same side that you're on, which can screw up your points. There's always somebody willing to play in the Splatfest. And it was a blast. I mean, I really did enjoy it. JJ, did you play as well?
I did, yes.
What'd you think?
It was great. I was Team Gear as well because that was the only obvious answer.
Yeah, it's Gear, Grub, or Fun. Well, you can get Grub and you can have fun if you have Gear. I think it's a very easy.
I watched Skilligan's Island with the right gear. I can make a radio out of coconuts. I'm good.
Exactly. But I really enjoyed it. We only had I think maybe only once did my network connection get timed. And that was at the very beginning of the Splatfest. It was only one time. The rest of the entire weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is no issues whatsoever. And Saturday is usually the really busy day because kids are home. Yeah, no issue at all. I had a good time. And it was a good time. Good fun. Good wholesome fun. Both my daughter and I were Team Gear, so I wanted to just kind of brag a little bit. But yeah, there you go. Who else is playing what? So Sam and I went. How about you, Taylor? Can you talk about the thing that I gave you, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Actually, which is good.
Taylor's playing Starfield. For those who don't know,
I'm playing Starfield. Also. Star Citizen 1.0, it's out. I can't talk about it. No.
And every game with good star in it.
I'm kidding, because Star Citizen doesn't exist. It's not. It's vaporware.
I will say this before.
Movies.
Yeah, we are at the point where we're getting so many freaking review codes that we're turning down. I just turned down Saints Row because they sent it to us 2 weeks after the game release, after
Yeah.
JJ went out and bought it, and told us about it, and now JJ kind of likes it now.
I actually
which is really
kind of like that game now.
He turned the corner.
Got this weird upswing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, should I? So I emailed them and said, give me 2 more days to decide, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn it down. I feel horrible turning it down, but we're
It'll
so
be $10
booked.
soon. It's okay.
It'll be $10. We're so over, and it'll be on Game Pass. We're so like overbooked. I'm like, it's get the code to somebody else. But yeah, Saints
but for mine, yeah, I mean, which is kind of good because I feel guilty because, like I said, I was on vacation last week, so I couldn't dip into that game as much as I wanted to, or would have wanted to. And so I think in the grand total of the entire week, I played like 3.5 hours of Xenoblade Chronicles, and like
nice.
That was about it.
Yeah,
I am nearing. Actually, how many? Anybody know off the top of their head how many chapters are in Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
I believe there's 10.
Oh my god!
Uh-oh.
I thought I was so close.
That tells
It
me that
feels
number
like
is
if-
significantly less than 10.
It's not significant. I think I'm on chapter 7 or 8, but based on how everything else is kind of framed out, it feels like I'm on chapter 9 or 10. So. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's so good, and I keep going back to it. I had my Steamdeck with me last week too, but I still went back and kept playing Xenoblade Chronicles. So,
let me refresh. 7 chapters. Sorry, 7 chapters. So you're probably good close to the end.
Okay, then I am on 7. Then I am okay. Whew. All right, I'm on chapter 7. So then I am nearing the end, and so I'll probably finish that by next week.
How many hours are you into it?
I'm past 70.
Okay.
But idle hours tend to tick up because again,
same.
Baby in the house. So it's like, oh, something happened. Controller gets put down. Game is still running. I don't always. I don't always press the button.
Xenoblade 2, and because I'm just finishing Xenoblade 2, I'm not talking about it. And then Xenoblade 3 is that because the game structure is sort of set up like an MMO, that the way the battles are set up is, if I get attacked, then my squad will take down the.
Yeah, it doesn't quite matter as much unless you get like a named enemy that's like that'll fuck you up. I do like that part, which is probably the reason why I'm like, okay, yeah, just put down the controller and forget about it for a minute. But one of the things, and this happened to me in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well, is that, man, I want to do the cool things that make it look cool, where you do like the chain attacks and stuff like that.
Oh man!
But I don't want to. I don't need the animations anymore. I don't need them.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade 1.
Let me skip them, please, guys. And like, all you have to do is show me the finishing animation when I do the really cool thing at the very end. I don't want to see anything else about it. Just show me the numbers. Let me play the math game and move on.
Xenoblade 2 has that with the chain attacks. It's like, okay, you've racked it up, and now I'm like, okay, super cool animation to kick it off, and then you select which one of your blades that you want. You tap the blade, and you go through a quick animation to hit the B in the right spot. Then it goes another super cool animation for that. It's like, and then you'll get like overdrive modes. Like, oh shit, I could do these all over again for more hits. It's like a 15-minute stupid combo anime. Like, and then there's
here's the thing is that like I can't. You have to do it, especially when you're fighting bosses and when you're fighting named enemies, because you're doing like literally 1,100 times, like 1,100x damage when you get into these combos. So like all of a sudden you start your attack, you're doing 1,200 damage is a hit, and then all of a sudden you do one swing and it's 115,000 damage. You have to do it to win the battle, and I'd like there has to be a middle ground where I get a little bit more engaging. But anyway, that said, it's still good and I still like it. I wish that there was a speed option so that I could do this even like just let me skip. I want to skip. And then I did still play a little bit more of Wandering Village on Steam Deck. It's still very good. I talked about that last week when I popped on real quick.
I I just want to say one quick thing about Xenoblade and just grindy RPGs in general. They are my favorite kind of RPGs. It's just like where there's just stupid, grindy things. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna pour like Xenoblade 1. I played that game twice, once on the Wii, once on the 3DS. The 3DS added a little bit of extra content, and then the the Switch version, which I ended up picking up. I'm not gonna play it. I picked it up so I can play that stupid extra thing at the end. But like 120 hours, I think I put into the 3DS version because I did every stupid side quest in that game. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm through. I think there's like 9 chapters. I'm in chapter 8. I'm just like but the grinding, like I could power through these games in like 40 hours. My numbers are racked up because of idle mode, right? You put your shit down, but there's something about Xenoblade games, and I'm terrified to get into Persona for that reason, because I had a taste of Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I'm like, oh shit, there's some grindiness.
Yeah, it clicks with you a little bit. Except Persona is, I will say that, like, you know, between Persona 4 and Shin Megami Tensei 5, because even though I own Persona 5, I still never played it, and I'm just going to wait until it comes to Games Pass. The Persona series just has this extra approachability that makes it a little bit more fun to play. No, I mean, I went through this. Like, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is fun to just pick up, and like the grindy. I don't know, the regular battles when I don't have to watch the long animations. It's like pretty fun. You just like run around, fill in the map, kill things. Like that part is what makes the Xenoblade Chronicles games really good, I think.
You know what? Part of me was going to say Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 would go great on a Steam Deck because they play great on handheld. However, Nintendo will never put their games on any other platforms because, to quote Wario64, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, a Wii U game, is still $59.99 on the Switch, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sells for $59.99 on Switch. Is one of the top. It's like, yeah, they're.
Well, you know what? Those sales aren't compulsory. They're not required. There's so many games that are extremely successful on Steam. The two that come to my mind are Factorio, and RimWorld. They're never sale games. They never go on sale, and they maintain overwhelmingly positive review ratings on Steam, and have forever. They don't. Whole of, like, I mean, obviously it's a silly joke that we're doing, but for anybody that thinks it's serious, they don't have to do that. That's not the reason why. They literally just want to make sure that they maintain you buying their hardware so that that's where you play their software. And
what was that? I
said everything's working.
Yeah. It's Xenoblade is the iMovie of like Apple's iMovie for the Switch. Anything else, Taylor?
No, that's it.
All right, for the 3 hours of gaming at it. And finally, JJ. Now, I don't know if you can talk. I was looking around to see if I could find reviews, and I didn't find anything.
So I can, based off of the email they sent me, I can talk about it, but I can't give a review of it. So no final scored reviews.
So you can say, I'm playing this game.
I am playing Atari Mania, which is the new anniversary compilation of for Atari, because they're doing their whole 50th anniversary ridiculousness this year. So, you know, you've got all of those what were they, the recharged games that I've been reviewing nonstop. That they just updated all of them to have the VCS exclusive features in them, which is very funny.
You know what's stupid is I'm like, they had dropped the VCS down $100,
right? Yeah,
a while back, and I was like, oh shit, I'm kind of tempted in a weird way. I'm like, I'm gonna keep an eye on this sucker around Black Friday time, because if that thing drops another $100 again, I'm like, that might be a fun one to just have for no reason.
Yeah. So this game is kind of like you when you posted about it, you said it's like NES remix, and I think it's definitely much closer to WarioWare than NES remix, because it is using all of these Atari games, but not using the original like visuals and stuff. And it's basically like the conceit is you are the sort of the Ben Stiller in Night at the Museum of the Atari Museum. And some shit's going on, and it's like there's these like dead pixels that are basically black holes, and they're sucking in like the games and stuff, and sort of turning them into monsters. And you fight the monster by doing these like WarioWare style things where you're doing like micro game after micro game of mashed up. So like you'll be doing this thing where you'll be playing Breakout, but every time you hit a brick, a spider from Centipede will come down and you have to dodge the spider while hitting the bricks. And like, they just mash everything up. It's an interesting concept for a game. I don't know how much I can say without breaking embargo, because I don't want to give my opinions too much on it, but I guess I can just say, wait for my final say on this game. But I do have a couple of other things I've been playing.
Real quick, I ended up pre-ordering that Atari 50 collection.
Yeah,
because it's Digital Eclipse is putting that together, and man, they did so good with the TMNT. Every collection they put out gets better and better.
It definitely seems like this one, because there's been a million Atari collections throughout the years, but this one actually finally seems like it's like an actual museum collection, as opposed to just here's a bunch of, it's like it is just a bunch of ROMs on a disc,
as opposed to title milestones.
It is a bunch of ROMs on a card or a disc or whatever, but it also it looks like it's going to have like a lot of like
cool
background information and stuff on it. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one actually looks like, because I don't know when the last time you've played an Atari 2600 game is, but they are not fun.
They're not good, dude.
They're not good or fun in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's so true. I think Pressure Cooker was one of my favorite Atari 2600 games of all time. It is an Activision beast. I'm like, I freaking love this game. And then Jungle Hunt, another great one, which was like a Pitfall type of game. Went back to those. I'm like, man, how did I? Donkey Kong is garbage on the all of these. I looked at my stack of NES games or my stack of Atari 2600 games. I'm like, and I was popping them in. I'm like, these are not good. I do gotta get an Atari 2600.
That's the thing. Crystal Castles Playland is saying Crystal Castles was awesome. The arcade games are all very good. Crystal Castles is one of my favorite arcade games of all time. Okay, I love Crystal Castles.
The arcade games were good. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, the 2600 adaptions of these are never good. Like Asteroids is probably the best adaptation they ever did. Yeah. Just because it's an easy game to adapt. Breakout's good too, because that is painfully easy to adapt. But like a lot of that other stuff, like even if you go back to play Adventure, which was groundbreaking at the time, is almost unplayable.
I played Venture, which was the like the fake version of Adventure. What else you got?
Okay, Hollow Cure, which is the HoloLive fan game that is Vampire Survivor, and it's very, very good, but I won't talk about it.
Oh no! Please talk about it, because I know nothing about this, and I would love nothing.
I mean, what up? I feel like it's all been said.
It is. It is. You unlock different HoloLive VTubers, and they all have their own. It is actually. I have more fun playing that than Vampire Survivor, and I love Vampire Survivor. It's just got some fun power ups, and they're all inside jokes, and it's just a cute game. If you like HoloLive, it's great. I will fucking fight you. I will drop you like a bad habit right here, right now. But that's I do have one review game and one non-review game. Like I have an old like review copy that I finally got around to.
Okay, you got one of those?
And I got one of those, and I'll start with the other one that Sam will be interested to hear about, because it is a vroom vroom game. Mm-hmm. It's called Trail Out. It is on Steam. It's in early access right now, and it is like a very small team doing basically a spiritual successor to the Flat Out games. I don't know if you ever played the Flat Out games, but they're kind of like Destruction Derby, but like with a gimmick. Like
Yep.
it has all of that stuff in it, like like bonus modes where it's like, oh, it's human bowling. You crash your car, you fly out of the windshield, and you do all this stuff. It's super destructive. The damage looks really good. It has different types of like regular races, demolition derby, crisscrosses, and it's got a story mode. But it's a small team, and it's clearly like a foreign team, and the acting's all really bad, but it's just silly. And everyone's kind of a ripoff of a different video game character. There's a character that's clearly a ripoff of Big Smoke from San Andreas. There's a woman that's clearly a combination of Sarah Connor and from Mortal Kombat. I forget her name now. The main female of Mortal Kombat.
Mylena? No,
not Mylena,
Sonya.
Sonya Blade. Yeah, it's clearly a combination of this. Like everyone's like a ripoff of a pre-existing character from like another game or movie franchise.
Is there verifiable 4-player split screen in the game currently?
I couldn't tell you personally, but I do think it does have local multiplayer.
The southern part of me says, "Hell yeah, brother!"
Yeah.
There's
I will tell you
chance that I might check this out later this evening.
For $20, which is what it costs, it is a really fun arcade racing game. It does a weird thing where it's like you get your cars from like a junkyard and everything, and like after each race, the damage doesn't go away. So when it's sitting like
it never does. It's always there.
Yeah.
With you.
So like at the main screen when you're like choosing like what mode you want to go into, your car is just sitting there in like a crumpled heap with like oil pouring out of it. You have to go into the customization menu and repair it using the money that you've earned. And there's certain paint jobs that like automatically repair your car for no money or whatever, but you have to earn those with your money. So it's a fascinating way of going about this, and it's like arrested for a crime you didn't commit kind of bullshit going on, and you're working your way up the ladder of this weird ass thing. It's super goofy, and like it's still in early access, so like I was reading reviews for it. It sounds like it used to control better than it does now, but
so that's the big question.
Yeah, it's loose. It's really loose, but it's also a destruction.
But like, does it at least feel like you have control of the car?
Yeah. I'm having.
I'm gonna have to watch some gameplay, but
what was this called?
I'm intrigued.
It's called Trail Out.
Trail Out.
Yeah, I think the developer is Good Boys. It's like the name of the.
Yeah, it worries me just a little bit when you click on Good Boys, and the only two things on Steam it has is Trail Out, and then the publisher's collection that Trail Out is also a part of.
Yeah. But I genuinely am enjoying this game. It's a silly little thing, and awesome. It's better. Like Wreckfest is a good game. Trying to do flat out stuff, but I think this is doing the flat out stuff way better. I was a big fan of Flat Out, so it's kind of a bummer that those games, that Bugbear, kind of got screwed on that whole deal. So this is clearly done by people that love that franchise and have just made their own thing, and it's a fun little racing game thing. So yeah, I highly recommend Trail Out if like awesome. The thing that I got a review code for during the summer, because I think like it was part of Summerfest or whatever the hell that Steam calls it, is Arcade Paradise.
Oh yeah. Okay. We finally get to hear your.
I finally got around to playing Arcade Paradise. So Arcade Paradise is a first-person arcade simulator. Kind of. There is a story mode, and you don't really get the full arcade simulator thing until you're done with the story mode, which is a wild way of doing it. And it's basically like your
what are you playing it on, by the way?
PC, Steam.
PC, okay.
Yeah. So basically, you're the kid of a guy. His name's Gerald, and he's a rich guy, and he's on. he's retired, and so he's just on a boat in the Riviera. So he's Gerald on the Riviera, and his voice actor is the voice actor that does Geralt from The Witcher. So it's a good joke that I didn't pick up on until I saw who was the voice actor after the credits, and I was like, that's a good joke.
That's a good joke.
Yeah. So anyways, he puts you in charge of his laundromat. And it's in a bad part of town. Everything's closed around it and everything. Just this laundromat's going. And there's like a couple of beat up arcade games in the back. This game, for a significant amount of hours, is just a laundromat simulator. And it's a weird laundromat because you're the one doing all the laundry for people. So like you go up and there's like hampers that are left, and you pick up the hampers and put them into the washing machines.
Yeah, I mean, it's you're literally just going through the daily life of somebody who is doing the work of somebody, like for when people drop off clothes for the laundromat person to handle it for you.
Yeah. So
and you have to like snag moments in between to play the arcade games.
Yeah.
You have to clean gum off the walls. You have to pick up your garbage. You have to make sure that there's toilet paper in the bathroom.
Yeah, they're like, you'll get like, and your watch will give you alerts when something like the toilet needs to be plunged, or the game's broken down or whatever. You get all kinds of weird shit like that. It is incredibly tedious. Like mind-numbingly so. But I kept playing because I was kind of super invested in the story, because it gets really weird.
It comes off really nicely, actually. It just takes a lot of fucking laundry to get there.
Yeah, have you beaten it, Taylor? Have you played it?
I haven't beaten it. No, I want to, but it
takes a lot of gameplay. There's a lot of laundry to.
It's very. All of it is very endearing, though. Like it's. I don't know. There's this genuineness to it that just is really pulls you along.
Yeah, I like. Eventually, the story, like when you see where the story starts going towards, the story takes kind of a turn at one point. A sad turn, really. And like the game almost ends with you like losing your everything, like in a weird way. It's fascinating, and like once you beat the game, it's just now it's an arcade simulator. You're just managing this arcade thing, and you get you load it with all of the stuff. You wander around. You hire somebody off of eBay to clear out the coin doors on all of the machines, so you never have to worry about that again, because until you hire that person,
you have to do it.
You have to do it manually. But then once you hire this guy off of eBay, which is just the funniest. It takes place in the early to mid 90s, which is a bad time to open an arcade, let's be honest. Yeah, I don't know if I like it, but at the same time, I really do, because it's so unique of a take on this genre, and all of the games are playable, no matter what it is. They're all kind of ripoffs of existing arcade stuff. None of them are particularly deep, and there's not one that excels. There's not one that you're like, I want to go in and play another 45 minutes of Woodcutter Jr. or whatever. None of the games really have drawn me in, but it's such a unique take on this sort of simulator stuff and management stuff, and it being story driven, I think, is kind of enough to pull you through it. You may not want to do the arcade management stuff after you beat the game, which is kind of a bummer, because that's kind of because the management part of it's super thin at the end of the day. You're really managing very little, especially if you start unlocking certain unlockables and powers and stuff. But overall, yeah, it's a unique arcade experience. Wired Productions, I recall, gave us stickers at PAX East that say, I think it was like "fuck NFTs" with a little finger on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I really like that sticker.
I
and immediately
I was
put it on
I went on my vacation last week, and it was that sticker is still waiting for me in my suitcase.
It's a good
Love
it's a
it.
good
Love
sticker.
it.
Yeah. No, I do I think this is like one of those things where you will end up with this game at some point. And when you do, play it, because it's genuinely like a clever arcade game. And because there's in a world where they're doing
great pull quote for
you're going to
Wired Productions.
Yeah, you're gonna end up with it sometime. Just play it. But
Excellent.
yeah, that's it. Everything else is stuff we've talked about before. I picked up Spider-Man for Steam. It's still a great game.
Sorry, I was writing on your pull quote there.
Also, when you beat the game, you get a really, really goofy music video, like live action music video for a song called Arcade Paradise, based off of your fucking arcade, and it's wild, man.
Cool idea. That's a really cool idea. Yeah. Love it. And I think that's it. I think we're done. Look at that. We just had a little over an hour with 4 of us. We talked about a lot of stuff. If Zach were on this episode, it would have been like 2.5 hours long somehow. We call Zach the multiplier. That's his new name.
Yeah.
The Zachaplier.
Zachaplier.
Well, hey, I want to say thank you guys for taking time out to talk to me, to hang out this Monday, beautiful chilly Monday night. It is fall. I just had salted caramel vodka.
Oh,
my Total Wine glass.
Did you get that at Total Wine? Salted? Because
I got it from Kroger.
I was just at Total Wine the other day and got some salted caramel vodka as well.
Nice.
So I'm pretty sure it's the same.
We actually got contacted by a bourbon maker to taste their. SideQuesting got contacted by a bourbon maker to taste their salted caramel bourbon. So, and apparently they're going to be in Detroit this week and next week, or the next couple weeks. So they're like, hey, we're going to be there for a couple weeks.
I'm not there.
Meeting, and they're like, we can give you a couple samples too. I'm like, looks like we're doing.
I was so fucking bummed when I was at PAX.
I might play a ticket now
because they had that Last of Us bourbon tasting that there was like they were doing, and it was Thursday, and I was like, I'm not there Thursday.
You should have changed your date. But Taylor, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
JJ, thank you very much. Sam, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Zach, thank you, Zach.
Thanks as always, Zach.
As always, Zach. Thank you to all our beautiful, beautiful listeners and viewers for commenting. It's truly a blast to hang out with y'all, and we look forward to the next time. Who knows? There may be breaking news this week, and we do another immediate show, which seems to be. Yeah, I'm sick of broadcasting my whole life, but love you guys. And we'll see you all on the next episode of what?
SideQuest.
SideQuest.